friends, it's Amy Dad, the Keto Queen. It's Friday night and I'm home cooking. Can you believe that? Cooking on a Friday night. Normally me and my husband go out to eat after work on Fridays, but I'm trying to get used to not eating out twice a week because it costs a lot of money to eat out. And I can eat a lot cheaper at home, just like you guys can. So I really like to take a break from cooking and cleaning and things, but we're going to try to start cooking at home on Fridays, or at least cook Friday or Saturday. I don't know which one. But anyway, we're going to try to knock down our date nights to one date night a week. We'll see how long it lasts. If you guys have had a great week, give me some hearts. I really did. It was a busy week at work, but it was a really good week. And I wanted to show you another easy meal that you can finish your week off with or start your week with. I really enjoy it. My husband is not a huge fan of casseroles like I am. It's not really a casserole, it's a skillet dish. He likes it, but you know, I'm cooking easy if I'm going to cook. All right. Yeah, Gina said, what a crazy week. Hey, Alex Dove, how are you? Deborah's on here. So y'all give my niece some hearts. She passed her, what's it called, a praxis exam? You know, the exam you have to take to be a teacher. And she passed that today. Congratulations, Alex. Y'all give her some hearts. So we're making an easy dish. This is called Cabbage Creole. So who likes Creole food? This is simple and it is low carb. Now cabbage of course has more carbs than other low carb veggies like green beans or asparagus or spinach, but it is good and it's good to have every once in a while. I love cabbage, but I usually don't make a meal out of it. This is actually a meal. So we're making Cabbage Creole, and all I've done before I put you guys on here is I browned some ground beef, and I browned it with about a half of a small onion. So just a little bit of onion. So ground beef and onion. I drained that grease, and then I added some chopped cabbage. So I got a small head or a medium-sized head of cabbage and just sliced it up pretty thin. So I've got ground beef, onion cooked, and then I added the cabbage, and we just put a top on our pan and let it simmer for a few minutes to get the cabbage started to cook. Hey Lori, how are you? All right, so hey Joanne, I see you jumped on. So we're making Cabbage Creole. So we've got ground beef, about a half of a small onion, and we browned the ground beef with the onion, and then I cut up some cabbage, just sliced it up, about a medium or a small head of cabbage. And all we're doing is cooking that together. I did put a top on it, it's kind of wilted a little bit. So you can see it's not completely cooked. I mean, it's not nearly as soft as I want it to be. So now, at this point, because we did cook it a few minutes, we're gonna add some of the Creole. So we've got a can of Rotel. We're gonna pour in a can of Rotel. Stir that up. This is an easy dish. I love easy dishes. So I'm gonna cook, especially on the weekend. I want it to be easy. Nancy says hello. Hello, Nancy. I hope you had a great week. So when I'm using my ingredients, and I put this in my carb manager years ago, if I remember correctly, this was about 10 carbs per serving. So it's a lot more carbs than I normally have. But if you're like me and you hardly eat anytime during the day, or you have really low carb meals during the day, this is a perfect dinner. I wouldn't eat this all the time because of that carb count, but if you're eating a cabbage meal, you're gonna have a lot more carbs than just a cabbage side dish. All right, so we added a can of Rotel, and now we're gonna add some seasonings. Only a few ingredients is all we need. I've got a teaspoon of garlic powder. I'll probably do a little more than that. I'm gonna do 2 teaspoons of garlic powder because I love garlic powder. Oh, almost more than that. Nancy says she's needed this. Okay, I've needed this BF so good because it's so good. Okay, it is delicious, I promise. All right, so we got some garlic powder, and we're gonna season with salt and pepper, and that's really all you need. Now, the recipe I'm going to post for you later after I open up, let's shake this up. The recipe I'm going to post for you later actually calls for Velveeta. If you want to use Velveeta, go for it. I'm not. I'm just going to use grated cheese. You can grate up your own cheese for even a lower carb count, or you can use, your bagged cheese. That's what I'm doing to make it easy. Can't get my salt on my shaker. There it goes. I'm putting a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of pepper, and I'm using 2 teaspoons of garlic, but the recipe calls for 1 of each. I love my garlic though. Uh-oh. Out of pepper. Get some more pepper. On there. So if you guys had a great week, let me know what's going on, what you are doing for dinner tonight that's low carb or keto friendly. We're just cooking at the house, trying to save some money. I spent a lot of money this year, so I'm trying to save some now. All right, and it looks really good so far. We're just gonna stir it up, and I'll tell you exactly again what's in this recipe. We're gonna stir in these seasonings real quick. I had my facial treatment this week, so I still have not got any makeup on. Hey Judy, how are you? I see Patrice. I see Terry jumped on. How are you guys doing? I hope you've had a great week. It is Friday, thank goodness, TGI Friday. And usually we are out somewhere eating or having a glass of wine after work, but we just decided to come home, or I decided to come home. Ricky looked at me like, what? But I really need to start saving some money for the summer because we definitely will do a little bit of traveling this year, hopefully. So I need to save up some money after all that I've spent on our pool and stuff. So we're going to be cooking at home a little more on the weekends than normal. All right, so let me tell you what's in here. It's looking really good. We're going to cover this back up and let it cook. So I've got a 1 pound of ground beef. You can use 2 if you want to. My husband loves more meat than nothing. So we got a pound of ground beef. We put in a small chopped onion, so even a half of a small is fine. So onion, ground beef, we cook that together. And then I just sliced up some cabbage, so I like my cabbage sliced thin. It cooks faster that way. So I added the cabbage and let it cook for just a minute, just to get it wilted a little bit. And then we added a can of Rotel. Very few ingredients, guys. Write it down, so easy. A can of Rotel. And we added a teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of salt, and a teaspoon of pepper. And then I added an extra teaspoon of garlic powder because I love my garlic. So we're going to cover this up and let it cook for a little bit. We just want to get the cabbage softened now. So you can cook it for as long or as little as you want to get the texture of the cabbage you want. I like my cabbage really soft, so we'll cook it for a few minutes. When it's done, we're going to add the last ingredient, and that is cheese. So the recipe I'm going to show for you actually calls for Velveeta cheese. I don't like Velveeta. I use it occasionally, but I'd rather have, some fresh shredded cheese or the bag cheese. The fresh shredded tastes really good in this recipe, and it melts really, really good too. Ooh, Joanne's doing breakfast. Hey, buddy, how are you? I see Gail has jumped on. I hope you guys have had a great week. It's been a really busy but great week for us. Work is just nuts. I think everybody's work is nuts, but ours definitely is. Gail wants to know what I'm drinking. Let me show you. I don't buy these all the time, but I love them occasionally. These are the ice drinks. Have you guys seen these before? This one is black cherry. So I've got ice black cherry, and then I also put just a little bit of vodka in there. Because if I'm not eating out and having a glass of wine, I want to have me a little drink at home. So I just put a little bit of vodka with my black cherry drink, and it's really good. I love these for mixed drinks if you want an adult beverage because there's no carbs. Yes, it's not the perfect thing in the world to have, but it's not going to kill you every once in a while. I don't drink. It took me a long time to drink this much out of this, but they really close up good. So you can keep them in the refrigerator and just use a little bit at a time, just for a little mixed drink. I really like them. I love the. There's a pina colada or pineapple. I think it's called. What is it called? I think it's called pineapple. I might have one. Let me see. Yes. This is my favorite one. It's a coconut pineapple. So I love the coconut pineapple. You could actually throw in a little splash of heavy cream too to make it a thicker, really good, smooth drink. Really good. But I love this one. This one's really good. Hey Carolyn, how are you? I see Kimberly jumped on. Taylor said, looks so good. I'm going to have to start coming to my house every night for supper. Well, Taylor, I thought you was getting used to cooking. I mean, you got to start cooking at some point. I thought your plate looked really good the other day. But you're welcome anytime. Just let me know you're coming. So I have plenty of food. Let's see. Hey Tammy, how are you? All right, guys, what are you doing for dinner tonight that's low carb or keto friendly? I'm curious what you are drinking, or what you are eating. I just took my first sip, so. Gail says she likes the black cherry. This one is black cherry. I also like the raspberry. The raspberry one is really good too. Yes, the pineapple is delicious. Hey Terry, how are you? What are you guys doing for dinner tonight that's low carb or keto friendly? I'm really curious to know. And I want to go ahead and have a moment to tell you guys that I got on the scale. I rarely get on the scale, y'all know that. And I tell you the truth, that is the truth. I rarely get on the scale because I don't think we need to obsess about the numbers on the scale because it does not tell us how we feel. That is just so true. But it will determine how we feel because if it doesn't look the way we want it to, then we get all upset and disappointed, right? Ooh, Steve's having ham and egg omelet. That sounds delicious. Hey, Holly Reeves. So, Holly, I was just telling them, and I think it's because you sent me a message this week, I decided to get on the scale for the first time in a while, and it has been a while. And I'm not even going to lie to you guys. I was so disappointed. And, I tell you guys to stay off the scale, but I was disappointed in it myself, and let me tell you why. It said I have not lost any of my COVID weight yet. And I feel great, and I feel like I look okay, but that stupid scale flat told me that I ain't doing good. That's what the scale says. It says, Amy, you ain't doing good, girl. You ain't lost none of that COVID weight yet. But I still feel good. And I'm sharing that with you because I want you to know I'm just like you, just like everybody else. Like, we struggle all together. I am in my size 6 jeans or 4 jeans, whatever these are, 26s. So, I mean, I feel good. But that stupid scale says I need to lose weight. So the reason I'm telling you guys that and being honest with you is to tell you, don't focus on that stupid scale. When you feel good and you get on the scale and it tells you something you don't want to see or something you don't want to hear, then you always are going to think negative about yourself. You will. Everybody does. Okay, I'm just like you. I did not like it either. Holly says she weighs every morning. I used to do that, Holly, when I used to weigh 120 pounds. I'd get on that scale every morning, and that scale number would determine how I'm going to eat that day. Not even kidding, like 15 years ago, I'd get on that scale, and if it was not the number I wanted, I would not eat. And if it was a number, I was like, ooh, I'm going to lunch today. That is just not healthy for me because I'm a food addict. So that's not healthy for me. So that's why I stay off the scales, though, because it really doesn't do much except give me a number. It doesn't tell me how I feel. It doesn't tell me what size pants I'm wearing. It doesn't tell me how I'm sleeping at night. It doesn't tell me anything except a number. And that number can be dependent upon a lot of things. Yes, I know I have gained weight. I mean, it's obvious. I've gained weight over COVID stress. And it's okay because that's life and life is going to happen. But I don't look, to me, the way the scale says. And I feel good. So I'm not going to focus on it. I'm going to keep on trucking along. I'm going to keep doing what I do every single day. And that is eat low carb, the lowest I possibly can. After my meal tonight, which has more carbs, I'm going to have 18 carbs in today. So I will be cut off. But this is the first day this week that I've even gotten close to 20 carbs. And it's not because I've been limiting myself. It's just, I just hadn't had it. It's so easy to go a whole day without very, very few carbs at all. I'm sorry, I'm just rambling. What questions do y'all have? I see Buddy is making snow crab with dinner. That's with dipping butter. That sounds amazing, Buddy. I love crab meat. I love crab meat. I love shrimp. I love all kinds of seafood. Ooh, Gail says she likes cabbage with bacon in it. I do too. Bacon and a little bit of onion is delicious. Hey, Katina, how are you? So for those of you just jumping on, let me show you what we're making tonight. We're making a cabbage creole. It's really good right now. It's just cooking up. We're cooking that cabbage. We've got a pound of ground beef, cooked in onion, about a half a small onion. And then we chopped up our cabbage and added that after the ground beef was cooked and cooked it until it was a little wilted. And then we added our rotel. So I've got a can of rotel. And then we added some garlic powder, some salt and pepper. We're covering it back up so it'll keep on cooking. It's almost done. And when it's done, we're going to add some cheddar cheese. You can add any kind of cheese you want, but I love cheddar cheese with my cabbage creole. Holly's doing blackened salmon with spring salad mix. That sounds so good. Hey, John, I see Carrie's here. Do you guys have any questions for me that's low carb or keto related? I definitely want to answer any questions you might have for the weekend. For sure, don't let Friday come and ruin your progress for the week. We all are on a journey unless you're maintaining, but even then you're maintaining the weight or the size or the feeling you have. So we don't want Fridays to come and completely hijack our success. We can still eat low carb or keto on the weekend, still feel awesome, still have great food because that's what we're doing every single day. So nothing changes just because it's Friday. Friday does not mean, you know, the weekend's here, we can do whatever we want to. If you're doing that, or if you're having what you call cheat meals, then you're really not making a major change that's going to sustain you. I'm just going to be honest. We need to make changes that are sustainable, that we're going to continue on. So if you're looking at this like punishment, you can't have certain things because you're punishing yourself, then you're not going to sustain any kind of weight loss or any kind of happiness, honestly. We need to look at this as the way we're eating, the lifestyle we want to live, and move forward with that. So the weekends don't completely wipe away all the progress and start all over, because that's what happens every single weekend. When you have your cheat meals, then you're starting your journey all over. Now, it's okay to have something off keto every once in a while. That's not a huge issue. It just doesn't need to be routine. And it doesn't need to be upfront for anyone who's starting a low carb journey. You want to get several weeks in. I would suggest 5 to 6 weeks in before you have anything off keto or off low carb. That way you're successful and you don't go back or backslide into old habits. That's just my recommendation. We're all different and we need to move forward with the way that's best for each of us. But that's my strong recommendation, that once you get started, get 5 or 6 weeks in before you decide to have a regular piece of pizza or, whatever. So do y'all have any questions for me? I love to ramble. Y'all know that. Even if you've been watching me, I've been live for almost 3 years. Now, I will definitely let you guys know I don't get to do as many lives as some of my other friends. I don't get to do as many lives as I'd like to because I have a full-time job. It's very tough. And I love to cook for you guys. I love to answer questions. Just because you don't see me live on here does not mean I'm not here. I'm answering questions and helping people all day. Not necessarily throughout the day, but all the time. So if you need help, I'm here to help. That's why I created this page. Starting my 3rd year keto, I feel like I know a lot. I'm not an expert, but I have lots of friends too that have been doing keto for a long time. So if I can't help you, I know someone that can. I had someone send me a message today about MCT oils. Be careful. There are lots of MCT oils, MCT powders. There's nothing wrong with them, but if you've never had them before and you start throwing them in your drinks or throwing it on your salads or whatever, your stomach can get very sick. It will definitely make you not feel good. So be really careful about those MCT powders, MCT oils. Nothing wrong with them, but start very, very low doses. And know why you're taking them. Have the reason. You need a reason for everything. We need a reason for everything. So what is your reasoning for using those? Joan, I think you're saying you love cabbage, but it says CBD. Cabbage, it's gotta be cabbage. You know what, I'm a drug tester. We work in the drug testing field, so I was looking at CBD. Yes, she loves cabbage. All right, guys, do you have any questions for me? I'm gonna check on my cabbage again. I hope you've had a great week. I know I have, but I'm ready for the weekend. Tomorrow I have a massage scheduled, so I'm getting me a massage, which is another reason we're staying home tonight and cooking instead of going out to eat, because I'm getting a massage tomorrow that I scheduled. Very excited about that. I love getting a good massage. All right, this is looking delicious. It still needs a couple of more minutes, then we're going to add our cheese. I know my husband's getting hungry. All right, guys, I don't see any questions coming, so I'm going to jump off here and go hang out with the husband and wait on this to get finished, clean up a mess I made. It's not a big mess, but I do have a mess, and I will talk to all of you guys later. Bye.